In 2025, about 4.2 million Americans will turn 65. That's the largest wave of retiring in history. Vanguard studied retires withdrawal behavior for the first few years after leaving their jobs. Here's something else Vanguard found. So what's the takeaway? Vanguard highlights 3 things retired need. Imagine working your whole life, saving every paycheck, and then when retirement finally arrives, you are not sure if you can touch that money. What if you run out too soon? Or worse, what if fear keeps you from enjoying the life you earned? Vanguard's new report, How America Retires, looked at thousands of retires, and the findings are eye-opening. Some people barely touch their money. Some spend it all at once, and others are all over the place. And here's the kicker. These choices can literally make or break someone's retirement. Let's start with the big picture. In 2025, about 4.2 million Americans will turn 65. That's the largest wave of retiring in history. People call it the silver tea tsunami. And with that wave comes one big question. How do you turn a lifetime of saving into a steady paycheck you can actually live on? The challenge: most people today save in 401ks or IRS, which means it's on you, not your employer, not the government, to figure out how to turn that money into income, and that's where it gets messy. Vanguard studied retires withdrawal behavior for the first few years after leaving their jobs. They found 3 main patterns. Pattern 1. Half of retires do take withdrawals, but very regularly. 1 year they take nothing. The next year they take a huge amount. Only about 20% of retires keep a steady, sustainable rhythm like 3% to 10% a year. The problem: those big, random withdrawals, especially during bad markets, can drain account way faster than expected. Pattern 2. 1 in 4 retires doesn't touch their savings at all for the first few years. Think about that. You worked for decades, but you leave the money sitting there, untouched. Some do it because they have a spouse still working. Some want to pass it on to kids, and others are just scared. They don't know how much is safe to spend. But what's really interesting is, financially, these folks look very similar to the ones who do spend. The difference: they are often just a little younger or not ready to start. And pattern 3, and then you have the opposite extreme. About 1 in 4 retires cashes out their entire balance in the first year. Just imagine that. You retire and boom, all your savings is taken out. Some have smaller balances and use it to pay off debts. But it's not always small. In fact, 24% of these cash outs are $50,000 or more, and some are over a full year's worth of income. The risk here is obvious. When the money goes, it's gone. These choices, whether you cash out, freeze, or take random withdrawals, have lifelong consequences. Taking too much too soon can leave you broke later in life. Taking nothing might mean you miss out on enjoying the retirement you dreamed of. And inconsistent withdrawals, they can destroy long-term sustainability, especially if a health crisis or market crash hits at the wrong time. Here's something else Vanguard found. Retires who rolled their money into an IRS were less likely to cash out compared to those who left it in their 401k. And when retirement plans made it easier to take partial withdrawals or offered something like a retirement paycheck, people were less likely to wipe out their accounts. Let's make this real. Picture 2 neighbors. Both retired at 65. Both had about the same amount saved. One neighbor, let's call him John, cashed out everything within the first year. He wanted to feel secure having the money in his checking amount. Fast forward a few years between inflation, spending, and some unexpected medical bills. John's nest egg is almost gone. He's stressed, relying mostly on social security now. The other neighbor, Mary, set up a steady monthly withdrawal plan. She takes out a small percentage each year, enough to live comfortably but not recklessly. 10 years later, her savings are still intact, and she sleeps at night knowing she has a plan. Same savings, 2 choices. 2 very different retirements. So what's the takeaway? Vanguard highlights 3 things retired need. Consistency. Instead of random big withdrawals, create a steady income flow. Clarity. Many people delay because they don't know how much is safe. Tools or advice that show safe withdrawal rates can remove that fear. Flexibility. Retirement plans that allow partial withdrawals or offer installment payments help people avoid the tension or the trap of closing out. Employers and retirement plan providers can make a huge difference by designing plans that keep money working longer, make withdrawals easier to manage, and reduce confusion. But let's bring this back to you, watching this right now. Retirement isn't just about saving money, it's about using it wisely when the time comes. So ask yourself, when the day comes, will you freeze up and avoid touching your money? Will you spend it all too quickly? Or will you find a balance that lets you enjoy life now while still protecting your future self? Here's the truth, retirement isn't just numbers on a page. It's your life, your health, your freedom, and how you withdraw your money might be the single biggest financial decision you ever make. Don't let fear keep you from enjoying the years you worked so hard for. And don't let impatience drain the years ahead. The key is balance, consistency, and having a plan. So the next time you think about retirement, don't just ask how much did I save. Ask how will I use it. Because at the end of the day, your retirement money isn't just for serving, it's for living. If you found this eye-opening, share it with a friend who's thinking about retirement, and don't forget to subscribe for more insight on money, investing, and living your best financial life. And see you soon.